Alright, sorry guys for the technical difficulties. We are coming back. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Alright, so thank you guys for being super patient with me. We are back after technical difficulties. Alright, I'm bringing us back. We are making a Christmas present stack today. Hopefully you guys can all re-find me here online. Thanks for being super patient. I really appreciate it. Hi. There we go. We're back. Alright, so I'm going to continue, and hopefully everybody can find their way back. We had a good thing going. It's okay. Technical difficulties just mean we are pushing the limits of what we're doing. I am a new streamer. Not that that's an excuse. It's more just, hey, I am learning, and I appreciate you guys being here for that. I have a newer setup, and we're trying things out. Welcome back, guys. Thank you for coming back. I very much appreciate it. We're just keep on keeping on. We are just adding details, to our sculpt here. Cool. Dropping my tools on the floor. Maybe I should make that a little longer. So wait, we're gonna call this Catherine wrestles with a weird log for more time than is necessary on said log. I think it's just art in a nutshell, is things that like seem easy might not be, and the things that seem difficult can sometimes just be really, really quick. Oh, I did get a really nice texture from pulling on that though. And sometimes you just get like the best results from having to learn and having to redo something. So I'm gonna consider that a win. I'm putting in a like old-fashioned fireplace bracket. That's what I'm sculpting on right now. Again, the theme is kind of this vintage Christmas. So just giving myself little details. I gotta look at it occasionally, because of course it's gonna be perfect from the bottom, and that's where no one's gonna look at it from. So yeah, that's looking decent. That's looking decent. Alright. Cool. Alright, looks like we're working. Yay, everything's working out. Cool. Alright, thank you guys for your input. It really helps me grow as a streamer and as a creative, because it's a lot to juggle, and I want to know if this is a good viewing experience for you, just as much as if it's a good creating experience for me. Like, we're in this together, so thank you for your input. I really do appreciate anytime you guys are on chat. I'll do my best to answer any and all queries, questions, comments, stories, what have you. There we go. Cute. So epoxy sculpt also responds really well to water, so I'm going to grab a little jar and get myself some water so I can smooth it out. This is our famous jam jar. We use this for everything. Normally watercolor. That's okay. So it's slightly watercolor stained, but it's good. It's all good. So just get some water on there and smooth it out. Because while I love that texture on my the log, that's a word, I don't want it on the fire. I want the fire to be really smooth. So I might put my glove back on for this. So with any exposure to any art material, it's a risk. So with like protective equipment or PPE, it's really just risk management. This stuff is epoxy. It is not like immediately caustic on your fingers, but it's not like you want to be touching it all day. So I will switch back and forth between like gloved and ungloved when I really need to dial in on details. But obviously, just for longevity and safety, I want to make sure that I'm taking care of my health, and you know, that kind of thing. And when I go to sand it, I will definitely wear respirators and that kind of thing. So just take care of yourself and have fun crafting. It doesn't produce a smell, so I'm not super worried about like off-gassing or anything. It's not like resin, where like that stuff like stinks to the high heavens. So, you know, just know your material and, you know, pick your times and make sure that you're just staying as safe as you can when you need to stay safe. I'm gonna break this fire. Can't give a safety lecture and sculpt a flame at the same time. There we go. This flame is not eternal. I think I need one more flame bit. I don't know, when flame makes different veins, I'm sure there's a scientific name for that. If anybody knows, let me know in chat, because I'm genuinely curious. I don't know. Why does flame do that? All I know is that there's few things better than a crackling fire, be it, you know, when you're camping or at the holidays when everyone's cozy and warm and together, and just especially as everything starts sparkling as we decorate for whatever holiday that it is that you celebrate over these winter and fall times, or as the snow makes nature sparkle. There's just, there's something that just never gets old. If I ever stop finding wonder in just the way that the world sparkles, I think that's probably it for me. And I never want to lose that. I think it's one of the things that's been really amazing about having a young kid is it's just, I don't have to ever, I mean, no one ever has to stop, but it's like, there's, you know, now I get to see it through her eyes and really just get to re-experience everything again through the eyes of a child. And it's like, yes, that's the good stuff, guys. So I'm going to take this back so you guys can see it. I'm adding in, like, flame lines. I want to, pretty much with my sculpting, all I'm really doing is creating a guide for myself when I go to paint. I probably could have achieved a lot of the effect I'm going for just with paint, but I did want to give it some dimension. I think there's something really fun about that kind of mild relief sculpt. You can see it's not really even sticking out that far, but it really will add dimension. It really will add to the overall thing, I think. So. Thank you guys all for trickling back in. I'm very happy to see you all here today. Alright, that looks like fire. So again, the epoxy sculpt, since my audio is out, I don't know what you guys have heard, but the epoxy sculpt dries kind of in phases. So like your first pass, you're really just looking for rough details. And I tend to over sculpt in this phase, and some of the detail stays, some of it doesn't, so it's a little bit of a gamble. But then, you know, you can come back and add and come back and add. My epoxy sculpt is a little bit on the older side, so I feel like in some ways I'm skipping one of the drying phases just because it's already dry. So if you notice that I'm kind of rushing into the sculpting and you're familiar with the material, that's at least my excuse. Also, I'm just trying to make sure there's not material anywhere where I don't want there to be material later, because that means I'd have to come in and, you know, maybe sand it off, and I don't want to break anything either, like the stuff that I do want. Oh my goodness, English. So I'm just trying to make sure that it's either at the size I want or smaller, because it's definitely easier to work with this as an additive material than having to worry about like sculpting it away and subtracting it. So, and this is just ordinary water that I'm brushing on. It is water reactive, makes it nice and smooth, and I can get all these fire crumbs away because I don't want crumbs in my fire. And I might just add some of those crumbs to this log for extra log texture. Okay, so I think that actually works pretty well for the fireplace. Sorry. I like it. It's funny, in my little view of the stream, it kind of looks like Cinderella's castle. And now I'm feeling all Disney, which would be really cute. That'd be a really cute theme for one of these. And so my chat audio went out in the beginning, so I'm gonna redo my intro. I'm Catherine, by the way. We're in Art Schooly. Art is a refurbished school bus, and that's where I have my studio practice. And today I am working on some early Christmas decorations. This one is actually from my mom and my daughter. So my daughter, she calls my mom her Oma. So Oma and Little Sprout, this is for you guys. If you've looked at Christmas decorations revolving around kids or grandparents, there have been these little present stacks that people have made. Most of the time they're snowman. There's this little sweet rhyme, kind of for present buying for the littles in your life, that goes, something they want, something they need, something to wear, something to read. And I like it because not only is, you know, it's got a rhyme and it's got a theme, but, you know, it keeps people from going overboard. And it's also just kind of sweet that, like, that's a tradition and kids will, you know, really get excited for that book. And, you know, if you do Christmas jammies or, you know, what have you for the wear, like, you can make it really, really fun. You know, it's kind of one of those where it feels like a good prompt, like a good writing prompt. And, you know, having those, like, creative limits is kind of fun. So my mom wanted to do that for my daughter, Little Sprout, and the snowmen were really cute. Like, I've seen some really, really cute snowman gift stacks where they do, like, want, read, wear, need. But she is not a huge fan of not that she's not a huge fan of snowman. It's just that, like, aesthetically, we could do something more in line with her aesthetic. And so then we found these reusable boxes just with our Christmas stuff, and I designed up something that would fit her aesthetics better, and then can be part of the Christmas decorations, and then can be reused every year. And so then it really becomes a tradition, and then just becomes part of our Christmas decor. And then we're not using wrapping paper every year, and so it's like, okay, cool. It's not only you know, tradition visually, but then I get to make it, and then it saves on wrapping paper, and then it's part of the decor, and so it was like win, 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 win. And so that's what I'm working on today. So you can kind of see I've got the boxes laid out. This one's obviously a fireplace. We wanted to do a little play on like the hearth and the chimney, and my family name is Stocking, and so obviously there's a lot of things you can do to play off of that at Christmas time, and those are very big in Oma's decor. And so we're gonna do the fireplace on one layer, and where'd it go? Oh, the stockings on this layer, and then a little wreath, so it's going to look like the hearth, and then the mantle, and then the chimney. And we're only doing 3 layers on this one, just because the box is so big on the bottom that 2 of them can go in there. And it was more about the balance aesthetically here. So, yeah, breaking the rules a little bit for aesthetics, but that's okay. So right now I am just playing with the bottom part, so I can actually see, and this is going to be a little hearth. So Oma likes very vintage Christmas, that gorgeous kind of like millennial pink, rose gold, mixed metallics, you know, Santas from around the world, that kind of aesthetic. She's also like a hardcore lover of koala bears. Or koalas. And so we are smooshing all of those aesthetics together into this project. So we'll get to the koala bit at the end. Right now we're just doing the hearth. So it's going to be, you know, lots of like whites and creams, and then lots of pinks, mixed metallics, and then, you know, that doesn't look even, but I swear I measured. Okay, we'll get that sorted. Alright, so now I need some more epoxy sculpt. I'm actually going to set this one aside for a little bit. If you can tell, I've got some very poorly drawn bricks all over this. Very, yes, I went to art school style bricks here. I think instead of wasting my epoxy sculpt, because as much as I love this, if I can do it out of a cheaper material, that's always better for me. I think what I'm going to do is actually take fun foam. Blech, I missed my pencil, my jar completely. I think I'm going to take fun foam and cut out just a ton of brick shapes, and then hot glue them all over. And then I may cover them with a layer of, I don't know, maybe epoxy, maybe paper mache, see if they need it. Or I might do some Plasti Dip or something. Just cover the whole thing in Plasti Dip before I start to paint. So we shall see. Okay, so that's smooth enough. So I'm going to set it to the side and let it dry. You guys can see that too. Debating on what I want to work on next. I couldn't decide at first if I wanted the stockings to be epoxy sculpt. Like, my heart really wanted to sew them. Like, to make little tiny miniature stockings would be so cute. But then it's like, well, my choice of material for that would be wool, which means when this is in storage, we'd have to keep it moth safe, and then wool just can age on its own. And as much as I love it, you know, this was supposed to be, you know, just kind of a thing that can be stored and reused every year, and I'm going to make them out of epoxy. I can paint them to look really cute, and I can put my wool on things that we can keep a little bit more airtight. Because my hope was that this would kind of just store itself and not require any special storage, because that's always hard, because it just adds to the fussiness of it, and I'm just really trying to simplify a lot of things in my life right now, so I don't need fussy objects in my life. So yeah, so I will, get my glove caught. Be making everything out of materials that I know that can withstand a little bit of heat, a little bit of cold, a little bit of outdoor storage. Like I said, just because this is supposed to be easy, which means making sure that it can be stored for the long term. which actually just made me rethink the hot glue in the bricks. I'll have to use a different adhesive because it gets very, very hot here. We can get up to 120 Fahrenheit where we are, and so obviously that's hot enough to melt hot glue. So I don't want any accidents. I want this to last. I've always been sentimental, but you know, especially since my daughter came into the picture, it's like ramped up. So yeah, if I'm gonna make something that I really want to be in her life, I want to make sure I'm doing it right, and making sure that it won't just, you know, melt. So, but that is the great thing about this epoxy sculpt, is it is, you know, freeze. It says right here, freeze, thaw, stable, hard and durable. I got wildly distracted there seeing if it had a temperature standard, but I haven't had a problem with this stuff in the elements out here. So, and it's not like it's going outside. It's more just like, can it withstand a garage? So here's to withstanding a garage. There we go. Okay. Boop. 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 So these are going to be fun, these little stockings. So because this is for my parents, or Little Sprout's grandparents, I'm putting little stockings for Oma and Opa and Little Sprout on this, because this is for their presents to her. I'll have to decide how thick I want these. It's going to take up a lot more sculpt than I was planning. So that's when you can, and I have this weird wad of aluminum foil here. Sorry, that was some unexpected, not necessarily good ASMR there. You can take like tinfoil and use it as a core to kind of bulk up stuff, and I think I might actually for these, because I don't want to waste all my material. For the top, there's going to be kind of a surprise peekaboo Santa up top. That one's definitely getting a core because they're going to be thick. And like I said, I'm trying to, you know, not use up all my materials. But also just, you know, keep it so that I can do lots of projects and not have that impact. And, you know, waste not, want not, and all. So, yeah. Actually, that made a huge difference, just shoving a little bit of tinfoil in there. If you guys are the Christmas celebrating sorts, do you guys have like a favorite stocking shape? Like, I know it's kind of a very specific question, and definitely very artist-centric, but I like the ones that are a little bit more pointed. Like, I don't like the boot shape, and unless someone's doing it really well, I don't like the super elfy shape. I've seen some really beautiful ones. As a general rule, I like mine more sock-like, just very even, not a floppy sock, but not too crazy either. Although I love to draw stockings that have like the curled elfy toes and all that. But for these, I'm just going very, very vintage, very traditional shaped. And then I'm going to make it look like it's open at the top. Maybe I'll put some little goodies in there too. That would be really cute. But see, that's not what I'm going to focus on in the first round of sculpting, because much of my brain is like, oh, we could put a candy cane in there, and oh, you know, Santa always brings us oranges. I could put an orange in there. I need to work on big picture shapes, and then I can dial in the details. Yeah, wiggling. Now the only thing I'm worried about with having a core is adhesion. I'm really trying to make sure these stick. And if there's too much of a core, I'm not making that surface area. I'm not getting that surface area. So we'll see. We'll see what works. Again, if this worst case, if it totally pops off, I know I can go back and glue it. That looked a lot cuter from the side. Give me a second. A little bit more heel. So I did mention before, you will see me take my glove on and off. That's just that balance between protection and being able to get in here and do what I need to do. So stay safe out there, guys, and do what's healthiest and best for y'all. Okay. Now it's patchy. But you can see again, I'm doing like, there's quite a bit of relief and quite a bit that's sticking out, but not so much too that I won't be able to store it inside its other box if we choose to go that route. So I'm trying to think ahead. That's one of the things where thinking about how it's going to be stored or how it's going to be assembled is something that I didn't admittedly always think of in my early crafting days, but now I'm trying to be a bit smarter about that. So character growth. Again, I'm just using plain water to smooth. And that's already looking a lot better. Although, of course, I've got that very firm tinfoil core in there, which is both great because I'm not just smooshing the same material around, but it's also like, well, I can't go any lower than that there, so that's now the level. So. And this whole thing will be painted. I'm not beholden at all to this blue and very green, very limey green. These are all going to get a paint job, so I'm not worried about being messy with the epoxy SCULPT. That you can kind of see a haze of the material. I'm not super worried because that's all going to be covered eventually. And painting this is going to be super fun. I will be painting this because this needs 24 hours to dry, and then it'll need to be sanded and probably resculpt a couple times. I will be painting this as part of my holiday stream, my season's streamings, if you will, and those will also be posted on YouTube. So if you enjoy really terrible holiday-based puns, I will be upping my streaming days and video posting content, and also having behind the scenes on my subreddit and Instagram during that time. So if you can check out ArtScooly at Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, and at all, that's where I will be during the holidays. So, all right, look at that cute little stocking. Okay, so yeah. And remember, it's still lumpy because this is the first stage of the epoxy, and I got to give that time to do its thing. But I'm gonna make some more awful noise with this tinfoil. Sorry, guys. Okay. Oh, that is sharp. Womp. This was originally a tinfoil core for a snowman nose. I had mentioned that these stacks are very commonly snowman because what's more perfect for winter, but then we changed aesthetic directions, and so now I am reusing the tinfoil just in a different application here. Perfect. Ta-da! Art. So I'm going to do the same thing again, roll out a thin sheet and just start covering and then build up the details. And this is where I need to be smart and put the lid on this one because these stockings are going to be bigger. So I'm going to be sculpting like stocking hanger hooks, but I'll have to get creative. I might put some ribbon or something so that the box can open and close. We shall see. Or it might be painted in. We'll do a little illusion. But I want these ones to be slightly bigger because they're for grown-ups. Don't know, I'm drawing around those. I'm trying to give each one its own personality. It's like I might make my mom's a little fancier. Maybe we'll have one of those jingle bell toes. She likes those. And then the like this business, whereas little sprouts might have like pom-poms or something on it. That's the fun part, is getting to embellish this. Okay. Will be quite enjoyable. I'm gonna put the glove back on. Some noise. I'm also, if I can remember where I put it, going to drink some water really quick because I don't want to get dehydrated. So you guys have a water break as well. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Alrighty, cool. Taking care of some business and getting back to the fun. Alright, here we go. So the consistency of this stuff I was saying earlier, before while my audio was cutting out, I don't know, reminds me of sculpting with like Tootsie Rolls, where especially as it gets harder, it definitely is firmer and very, very thick and chewy. But when you warm it up, it's quite pliable. This is really quite great to sculpt with. I really enjoy it. Very, very glad to learn about this material. I first heard of it from the doll maker Delightful, and as a fellow Catherine, I was like, yay, crafty Catherines unite. But yeah, she uses this on most of her dolls now, and I was very curious and got me some, and I am very, very happy I did, because this stuff is cool and it really did change a lot of the way that I crafted. So it's always really fun to learn from other people in your field. I think that's one of the really fun things about, say, like Twitch and YouTube and all of these, is that, yeah, you can learn so much. And even in somebody that may or may not be in the same exact genre, you know, just materials for different things are really cool to be able to share. So, okay. So I mentioned on this one I'm doing the little toe. I'm going to try and stick to my rudimentary drawing here. Beautiful. If you caught my stream yesterday, I was working on those deer antlers over in the corner, and I thought about using epoxy sculpt for those. Part of me hoped that I would be done with them and I wouldn't want to wait for the 24-hour cure time, but I'm not done with them, so maybe I could have used it and it would have been fine, but I instead went with Warbler, and now it just needs a paint job and then they'll be finished. So I may be painting those today on this stream. Goodness. English language, depending on where we get with the sculpting on this. So gotta be careful not to break this box. It is just cardboard. I'm noticing as I'm pressing down that it's a little bit more giving than I might have wanted. So I'm going to try and be careful not to break it before I've even made it. There we go. Move those extra pieces. Okay. And then the glove comes off for smoothing. I just really need to be able to feel this. And then I'm going to obviously wash my hands very well before I touch anything, you know, cooking or any of that. So we'll just be as careful as we can. I introduced Little Sprout to The Nightmare Before Christmas, right before Halloween, and it's funny. Like, as an animator, I've got my own like problems with it, and not the animation itself, just like the whole industry and Tim Burton and all sorts of things. And you know, the movie's not perfect either. It's a kind of a very cultural appropriation take on holidays. But that said, you know, especially through the eyes of my 5-year-old, and we talked about, you know, how you can't just like, take other people's traditions and that kind of stuff. But, you know, it's more like right now she's just in that magic phase, and she was really into the songs. And, you know, I'm going to let her appreciate the things as they are, and we'll dissect them as she gets old enough for different conversations and such. But that said, the Making Christmas song has been going through my head as I've been doing all of this stuff, because the music was absolutely fantastic in the movie. And I am making Christmas things, so obviously I can't sing it. Don't want to get myself copyright flagged, but you know, it's a bop. Excuse you, glove. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep on molding. Keep getting really close to the shape I want and then losing it. So I'm just trying to bring it back. That's just part of the process. And again, I know that this won't be the final pass, so really just going with more on the scant side of things, if anything, and then I can always come back and bulk it up or add on top. So kind of like that. Definitely in the I don't hate it phase, but you know, I can do better than that. I think I'm struggling right here with the arch because I want it to be more arched, but every time I do that, then the toe gets too small. So. Or it just starts looking odd. There we go. That's better. And then I think instead of sculpting a jingle bell, I'm gonna just put a real jingle bell. Because it shouldn't be like too annoying if it's on a box. And then it'll be kind of fun when when she goes to open the present, it'll have a little jingle bell on it. So there we go. Okay, there is Oma's stocking. Okay, stop fiddling with it. Okay, go brain, go. All right, so I'm gonna mix up one more lump, and that'll be for Opa stocking. I don't get fingers anymore. Oh, there we go. There we go. So again, a little bit of part A, a little bit of part B. And it's really kind of satisfying to just pull out big chunks of this, because I had only used it for like miniatures before, and you need like not a lot. I'm also thinking about what I'm sculpting next, so I'm going to make up quite a bit. Because my goal is to, on this stream, get the base sculpting done. The painting's going to take a good long while, and I'm quite excited for that. But if I can get the good base sculpt and then let it cure all week, maybe, you know, kind of touch up some of the details that, you know, just like sanding and stuff off screen, and then bring it back when I stream again on Friday and have it have it ready to paint, would be really fun. So these need to be equal parts, but it's not so fussy that you have to weigh it. Just a good solid eyeballing does the trick, which again is really nice because I have a scale and I could play by those rules, but it kind of smells like nutmeg. Like nutmeg and popcorn. I normally don't notice a smell, but I think normally I work in such small quantities of it that it wasn't really a thing before, so that's interesting. Okay, so 2 big globs, and then we swoosh. So we're looking just for even color. You can see that it ends up being about the same color as part A. This is supposed to dry white. Again, mine's a little old, so it's more of a gray, but that's okay. It's gonna be painted. We're just looking for homogeneous mixing. Kind of reminds me of ASMR videos. You can hear. The epoxy itself doesn't really make any sound, but the gloves are loud. It doesn't do any of that fun slime popping or any of that. We're getting marbled. Maybe I should have mixed this in 2 batches. That's okay, we're stubborn here. Sometimes 2 are detriment, but that's okay. It's who I am as a person. It's Alright, so we're almost there. We're getting there. Okay, so my plan, and I'll talk that out while I'm mixing, is to do the last stocking here on the blue. And then set that aside to dry. This will also get some texture, but I think, like, because I'm going to do, like, the bricks on the bottom one, I think with this top one, or middle one, sorry, goodness, khaki one's getting bricks. I think I'm going to do, like, a shiplap on this one, and I might do it raised on the sides, and then just paint it behind the stockings. I don't want too much competing texture. Or depending on how well just painting, like, you know, we're doing, like, a white and then, like, an off-white stripe for that kind of shiplap look. That might just be enough for the whole treatment of the box, because I really want them to shine. And then the top one's getting bricks again, the green one, because it's going to look like the chimney. And again, the color scheme we're doing is vintage, kind of pink rose gold Christmas, so like those like millennium pink vintage light up trees, and the mixed metallics, and that, yeah, that kind of champagne-y rose gold millennial pink theme is what we're going, because this is for my mom, and that's her aesthetic. So, alright, it's getting nice and warm too. That's not necessarily anything from the chemical reaction, it's more the friction here, but got a decently blended hot dog here. Alright, a little bit more marbled than I want. Almost there. So, okay, so again, I'll be adding the core and going from there. So, time to sculpt. It definitely does start to dry right away, but it's still usable. It's funny, you can feel the difference from the fresh and from this. So, take some of those sharp edges away. So I think for today I'm going to do the stockings, and I'll lay down the first area on the wreath. I think that might be what I've got going today. We will see how I feel after that. I hope wherever you guys are, you're having a lovely weekend. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon where I am right now. Absolutely gorgeous. It doesn't feel like fall. It certainly does not feel like I should be getting ready to do anything Yuletide or Christmas, because it's like 80 degrees, but you know, that's just the perks of living in the desert. Alright. Cool. So, same thing on this one. Get that nice and adhered down around the core. Really press that in and then get to work on the details. What's also great about this is I don't have to worry about like air pockets or anything, because it doesn't have to be baked, it doesn't have to be fired, it's not going to explode, it does not require heat. This stuff's pretty magic. Yeah, between it and Warbla, like, just completely changed the game, because like I was never really that great at like SCULPT. I had things crack and stuff, and then any material that has like shrinkage is always hard too, because you know, you have to calculate for that. And I'm just here to be slightly chaotic and get things crafted. So mad respect for those who work in materials that have shrinkage and stuff. That is hard to calculate for. So, and I'm also just marveling at like how far crafting materials have come. You know, the fact that I can do this with just 2 jars I got on the online, and make things that can last and become part of my family traditions. And it's neat. It's really neat. Okay, so smooshy. There we go. So again, just smoothing that out around the core, trying to get a basic shape, making sure I like it from multiple angles. Not liking what it's doing up here, so I'm just going to smush that. And then I'll be back to redefine, like that heel is too high. What are we doing? Get back. That's better. That's better. And again, if you know, this is going to be painted, so like all of this kind of haze and thin layer there isn't going to affect too much. And it can be sanded, which is really fun too. So, I'm also saying it can be both an additive and a subtractive sculpting material, although I prefer to use it additive, just because, you know, it dries hard. So if you want to remove some, it can be done. It'll just take more effort than just, you know, adding it in the first place. So, and that's just knowing your materials and knowing what they can do. But you can absolutely like Dremel out of this and stuff, which could be, you know, used for some really neat effects. I might actually utilize that like on the wreath to create some effects if I need to. If I can't get it out of just the sculpting. Alright. So I think that's good for base shapes. You guys can see those there. Hold them up to the big camera. Like it's little stockings. I like that a lot. Alright, so that one gets set aside. Try not to block my chat. That way if you guys have any questions, like always feel free to ask. I'm happy to slow down if I need to, re-explain something. Like I want you guys to have just as much fun as as I am. Okay, so I'm gonna, again, get smart on this one and put the lid on, because see, it really drastically changes how much play I have there. I don't want to sculpt something and then like have it not even be able to have the lid on it anymore. Which I'm glad I thought about, because I could definitely see myself sculpting these sans lids and then being really sad for myself when I figured out they wouldn't fit. So that's why they have these very rudimentary Sharpie marks, was at least to remind me that I don't have a thumb on that side, to remind me that I've got to keep in mind those kind of parameters there. So. So gloves going back on just because I'm smooshing, but I'm going to make a wreath. Perfect. Get my glove caught. Stop stealing my glove. There we go. Yeah. I think it's funny that, like, and I'm not too terribly prolific a sculptor. This is something a little bit outside of my normal realm, which is really fun. I definitely like to be kind of a polymath with my art supplies anyway, and just get in there and get in with whatever I can. But I hadn't done a terrible amount of sculpting, but it is funny how, like, it all just kind of comes back to that snake that you made out of Play-Doh. Like, it all comes back to the snake. So I'm getting basic shape here. And then, yeah, I really gotta watch that top of that box. I'm already too big. That's better. Okay. So with this one, I'm just going to kind of get messy. I want a really textural element here. Like, I want it to feel like foliage. I want it to feel organic. And this one should be really fun to paint. And then I'm going to sculpt, you know, like a bunch of little holly berries and ornaments and a big old bow and just all the fun things. Starting by, you know, getting in there. I like the shape that's making. Okay, I'm trying to keep this round-ish. Alright, cool. That's gonna be important. Cute. Okay. I think I have that weird style where it's like, I want realism, but I also really like cartoons and illustrations and very, like, graphic styles. And, you know, can I sculpt pine needles or, you know, pine bows? And do I just want, like, cookie cutter type, you know, like, oh, that'd be really cute to do one of these all and, like, make it look like it's all out of, like, cookie dough and frosting and stuff. That would be really sweet. And then I can't get distracted during a project about the next project. Or a future hypothetical project. Oh, I'm really good at that. Oh, that's my one thing is getting distracted and trying to start 27 new projects. I'm working on it. I mean, that's the fun thing about Twitch, is you guys keep me on a project at least till it's, you know, completed to your guys' satisfaction, and that helps me. You know, same alert from the same stream because it keeps going down. Alright, let's see. You guys back with me? Oh no, I hope I didn't lose you guys. I know the stream went down. Okay. You guys back? Alright, sweet. I'm gonna just be optimistic that y'all are back with me, and I'm just gonna keep going. So I'm just taking a paintbrush and some water, and I'm really just trying to keep this middle round. I'm losing a little bit of my texture, but I want it to read. And remember that this dries in different stages, and I can always, always, always go back in and add more. So that's where I am with that. Circle. I think it's at that stage already where if I painted it green, it would look like a wreath. Especially if I, like, you know, slap some holly berries or something on it. But I'm gonna try for a little bit more than just, you know, it's green, it's a wreath. That's what's fun about an exercise like this, is I get to practice my sculpting skills, get to dust those off and pull them off the shelf. Get some good texture there. Getting some good texture. Right now it looks like a sunflower, which I have no qualms with, except it's not supposed to be a sunflower. There we go. And remember, I love questions if you guys want me to slow down and re-explain anything, or even if it's, you know, about streaming equipment or crafting supplies or the bus. I love to talk about the bus. You guys are free to ask those questions anytime. I was actually editing a video from my YouTube. We put new floors and stuff in the bus, and it's like 200 hours of footage, so the editing's been going a little slow on that one, but I'm excited to show you guys. Especially those of you that have been with me since the beginning. Remember when it was just kind of sticky school bus floor. Now it's not. Upgraded. Alright, so I'm just adding texture. And then I'm going to, I think I might add in the bow at this stage. Although I might make it separate so that it can be glued on. That way I can really get it painted and not interfere with everything I've just built up. That's not quite doing what I want. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. That's doing what I want. I got this nice kind of, well, that has a bunch of chunk on it. You can see. There we go. I have this nice sunflower petal tool. I'm sure it has a lovely name, and I will look it up. But it's given me this nice pine bow texture, which is lovely. That is the fun thing about organic shapes, is, you know, they're organic. So yeah, you can see that it resembles a wreath, especially, you know, once it's green. Although I think I'm going to go with that nice minty green that complements that kind of millennial pink rose gold just oh so well. Alright, and then for the top, I'm going to be painting this to match the chimney, and then I'm going to be taking some snow and sculpting it around, little icicles, all that. But from the top, we're gonna have a little Santa Claus. But because this is for my koala loving mother, who is my client for this, I am doing koala Santa. So this is, again, one of those just fun things about getting to work on something like super custom, is you can make koala Santa decorations. InkRabbit12 in chat. I'm not sure if that's an acronym I'm unfamiliar with, or if that's a Little Sprout chat, and if you can clarify that one for me. Alright, so what I'm doing, again, tinfoil core, aluminum foil core there, and then I'm going to be building this up. Right now it doesn't look like much. And this is where, like, building up in layers is really going to be helpful. Right now I'm literally just going with tree stump approach, so that I know that that's secure, and then I can build a proper armature off of this and really have it not resemble a tree stump. Although it's funny, every time I say something like, ah, it looks like a tree stump, I'm like, oh, a woodland one would be really cute, and you could do all the little creatures, and that's how it's hard to not do 12 million projects all at once, because the sugar cookie one sounds really cute, and now a woodland one sounds really cute, and yeah, then my brain's like, oh, how many do you think I can make before Christmas? And it's like, no, I've got other plans. So it's okay, brain, we don't have to do it all. But yeah, if you guys do one, please, I would love to see what you guys come up with, and share it with the hashtag ArtSchoolie. That's ARTSKOOLIE, ArtSchoolie, and I will feature your guys' stuff if you make something that we've made on stream. There we go. Perfect. It's a spooky ghost. This is going to be, again, the armature, or the base for the armature for the koala Santa. So I'm going to just let that dry. So yeah, so now all of these need 24 hours to cure, which, you know, is and isn't a while. Like, it's hard on stream to be like, ta-da, now they have to wait, which is always a little hard. So what I'm going to do is, just to kind of keep the energy going, I'm going to put some quick paint on some antlers, and then I really appreciate y'all being here. We'll look for another creative to raid here in about 15 minutes. Or so, and we can keep the party going that way. So I'm going to add some paint to these. If you joined me on stream yesterday, you will remember making these with me. So I'm going to take these off, paint them real quick, just get that first layer of kind of antler bone on, and then I'll leave you guys to your Sunday. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you know that every other Sunday is when I try to put up YouTube videos. I have one on the docket for this evening. I've still got to film the reveal, and when Little Sprout comes home, oh, sorry for the crinkle. When Little Sprout comes home, we will be doing the reveal, and then the video will go up. So late Sunday, maybe Monday, depending on how that goes. I definitely want to make sure I'm spending good time with her. But if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is also Catherine Stocking Lopez and Art Schoolie, you will see that, and that will be the reveal on these guys. So definitely got to get them painted if I would like to show off the whole project. So I'm just mixing together kind of a bone antler color here. And yes, I'm doing this right on this mat because I already have to take it inside and wash it. So we're just gonna be messy. Figure, why dirty a paint palette when I've already got to wash this whole thing? So at least that's my excuse. I also just really like mixing on flat surfaces versus in little dishes. So yeah, it's a little pinker than I wanted. I thought that might have just, oops, been the matte, but yeah, it's a little pink. There, it's better. And this is just the base coat too, so I can always go back in. This is really just I've noticed that just getting things all one color is the best way to notice any mistakes. Oh, especially with metallics. You want to see the flaws in your projects, paint it bright silver. But this will just give me just an idea of, yeah, if the color, or if the sculpting worked out, and then where I need to repair anything. And that's really funny. If you were just joining now, it might look like I'm adding antlers, like reindeer antlers, to this, but I'm just, that kind of works out thematically, so we're keeping it holidays. No, I just really like stags. I think they're really cool. You know, especially like being the kid that was into, you know, fantasy and magic, and they've always kind of appeared in that genre. And then just they're, you know, I think after Red Dead Redemption 2, they really solidified their place symbolically in my heart if they hadn't already. Oh, cool! Look at that. See, that's those antler dots. That's what I wanted from the sculpting. And once I fill those in and get the nice dry brushing, oh, that was worth it. That right there was worth all the work of the Warbler. So, yes. Oh, I don't know. You know, like, I find myself being surprised sometimes when things work out, and it's like you'd think this many years as an artist, I'd be like, yeah, that's what I intended. And it's like, yes, that is what I intended, but it's still nice when things work out. So... I'm gonna have to find a way to have this dry. I'll stick it in a vase. I'll take this all inside when I clean up. Now, of course, that looks way pinker than it really is. I think that's just the matte now. So yeah, so I'm gonna put paint on this one. If you guys have any like last minute questions, feel free to ask. Oh, little Sprout, of course, I would love to have you help me paint. That would be fantastic. Yes, I'm not painting without you, baby. I will save special bits for you. I am going to paint these antlers, but that's just so we can go be mythical creatures. Okay. Getting some more of that color. And that's the super fun thing about homeschooling is our art lessons can be just about anything we want them to be. You know, and it wraps into social studies and traditions, and then we can study things from around the world, and learning comes from so many different places, and you know, being able to share that with my daughter is really cool, and definitely make sure there's art in her life. Whether or not she becomes an artist, I mean, that's not in her plan right now, and I totally respect that. She wants to be an animal doctor. But, you know, it's one of those where, like, no matter what you do, just appreciating the arts and having, you know, the ability to draw and paint and craft, it helps. You know, I've had weird, odd office jobs where being able to do things in the artistic field definitely helped out. And, you know, I like being well-rounded. You know, the old jack of all trades, master of none, but better than a master of one thing springs to mind. But it's less about, like, I always envy people with specialties, as much as I say that. I jump around a lot. I am an adult, diagnosis of ADHD, and that does explain a lot of the things that I experienced in my childhood. But also just, I like to just, you know, we're only on this planet for a short time, and I want to just be able to experience as much of it as I can. So I like to jump around and be well-rounded and experience a little bit of everything. And, you know, so far I've been, you know, privileged in the fact that I've been able to. And so that's why I love to teach and to share too, because then, you know, we're all learning from wherever you are. I mean, that's what's so cool about this is, you know, you guys are all over the world. And we can connect like we've never been able to before. So cool. All right, now I'm a mess. All right, so it looks like my mod team has found somebody to raid, and if you're new to that or you're new to Twitch, raiding is when if I'm finished, you know, whoever you're watching when they're finished streaming, it's hard to let that energy go, and we don't want to end the party, even if I've got to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to all hop over to a different stream, send them a little bit of love, and if you can stay and watch theirs, great. If you can't, if you've got stuff to do, well, I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate, you know, you spending whatever part of your day you had with us. So we're going to get that ready to raid. But as a reminder, I am in a school bus. His name is Art, and the bus's doors, they are always open, and you guys are welcome on board the bus anytime. If you are trying to find me or Art, we are Catherine Stocking Lopez and Art Schooling, just about anywhere here on our little corner of the internet. And soon we're going to be starting our holiday, like, seasons streamings, and so we're going to be doing streaming a couple times a week, new videos up on Sundays on YouTube. Then we'll be doing shorts on Instagram and behind the scenes on Instagram, as well as my subreddit, and that is r/artschooly. So thank you guys so much, so much for being here today, and I really appreciate the time, and I hope you guys had fun, and you know, if you learned something, or you were looking for inspiration, or you were just looking for a cozy place to be, I hope you found it. So have a wonderful day, and we are going to raid, let's see, Pepper's Workshop. So let's go raid Pepper's Workshop. If I can get my keyboard to work. Pepper's Workshop. There we go. Alright, it looks like they are making an R2-D2 PC case out of wood, which sounds geeky and awesome, and I'm here for it. I think it's been one of the really fun things that I've enjoyed about all of this, is getting to see just all these art nerds doing their thing. So let's go give some love to Pepper's Workshop, and again, thank you so very, very much for being here with me today aboard Art Schooly. Bye, guys!